guys, welcome to another episode of Quickfire Reviews. Hopefully I'm going to talk a lot quicker in this time because last time I realised that the video probably was quite long, but I don't know because I'm pre-filming and the clothes are the same. So this one I want to talk to you about is Legend by Marie Lu. It seems like everyone in the grammar has read this and really liked it, and it's really short. Like, I did not appreciate how short this book was, for starters. So any of you that don't know, this is in a dystopian world, and there are two characters, one called June and one called Day. It's split up into their points of view. It's set in a world where there's some kind of plague virus thing. It's been a while since I read this, so if I get the details wrong a bit, I'm sorry about that. But it's set in a kind of messed up world. The military is quite active, and June is training to become a part of the military. So Day is a wanted criminal. He was found to have this plague thing, and now he basically goes around doing bad things that the military don't like, and they are trying to capture him. And he finds out that one of his brothers has also been found to have one of these to have this virus thing. So he goes to the hospital to try and steal some of the cure for his family, who are very, very poor. June, on the other hand, is very, very rich, and she is raised by her brother, and who is also in the military. She's trained to be in the military, and she's trained to be as fast as Day and be able to climb as fast as him, and things like that. And something happens to her brother, and she wants to avenge her brother, and she goes on hunt for Day, and it progresses from there. This is a great action-packed story. It's very, very small, like it's very quick. You could read this in no time at all. Like, it's a really short book, and it's just like action-packed, and it's quite good. I quite like the fast pace of it. I like the world. I feel like I knew enough about it when I was reading it, despite the fact that it's really short. I like the characters, Day and June. They both learn a lot from each other and about themselves and things, and I liked it. I didn't like it as much as a lot of people do. A lot of people on here like it a lot, and I don't like it that much. I think that there's just an element of not being able to get as close to the characters when it's split into points of view like that. Like, it's constantly switching. I don't know. I like the characters. They're likable. They're lovable. They grow and things like that. But it's almost like a movie. It's like such an action-packed thing, and the points of view keep shifting, that it's very movie-like. And I don't like movies that much, so maybe that's why I don't like it as much. But I gave it 4 stars or 3 or 4 stars. I'm not sure which. And I did like it. It's well worth it. And I liked it despite the fact that it was hyped up. The next series I have to talk about is really, really exciting because everybody has been talking about this, and there is a reason for that. It's Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and the sequel is Crown of Midnight. I read this one straight after the other, and they were so addicting to the point where I had to get my mum to hide it from me whilst I was writing my dissertation introduction, because I knew that if she left it in here I would just read it. Which is bad, isn't it? But anyway, I love the series so freaking much. It's basically, it's kind of a, I think it's a young adult series, but it doesn't read like one. And it's a high fantasy series, but it gets rid of everything I don't like about high fantasy. It's only 400 pages long, for one thing. And that's the main thing I hate about high fantasy, is that it's just so long, and this is like, it's not slow, it's quick-paced, and it's only 400 pages, which is perfect. Selena is a female assassin. I'm sold on that. I don't need to hear anything more than that. I was sold. I was just female assassin there. I love like assassin books. Assassins are so cool. It's like kind of like a high fantasy book mixed with the Hunger Games, in that there is a game, like they have to compete to be the king's assassin, or whatever, the king's champion is what it's called, but killing people for the king, basically. And she has to compete against all of these other thieves and assassins. But on top of that, like, it's not like the Hunger Games whatsoever. Like, I know it kind of sounds like it, but it's not like that whatsoever. And on top of the fact that they've got this competition kind of thing. There's also some kind of mystery, and there are these things called word marks, which is some kind of like magic thing, but this is in a world where magic has been forbidden by the king, and oh, it's so good, there's so much going on and there's so many things to think about. And it continues straight on into Crown of Midnight, it becomes even better. And Keel in this is so cute, by the way, in the beginning half of this. So cute. Oh, I just love this series so much, I can't recommend it enough. They're both 5-star books, and if you're a bit iffy, read it. If you're a bit iffy on fantasy, then you should read this, because I doubt you'll have a problem in the same way that you might have a problem with The Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or something like that, because these are only 400 pages. It's like no different from reading any other book, except that it's awesome. We have a contemporary for you, because I've been talking about dystopias and fantasy for too long. So we have Anna and the French Kiss. For this I got on the Kindle monthly deal thing. They kill me, by the way. They have so many good deals on there. You should check them out if you don't already. Every month they have new deals, and they always have some great books on there. So I got this for 99p, I think. I love getting books for £1 or less, it's so good. I think everybody knows what this is about. If you don't, it's a contemporary where Anna gets sent by her dad to go to the School of America, which is in Paris. Logical. And she gets to do Paris-y things in Paris, and there's a guy, and he's really cute, and he's called St. Clair, and he's got a British accent. She really likes cinema, and she goes to cinema all the time, and it's just a fun contemporary story. Like, it's like cutesy contemporary, not a I'm gonna cry my heart out contemporary. Because, you know, when I think of contemporary, I normally think of like, I normally think of quite sad books, but this is one is a very uplifting, cutesy contemporary book that quite nice to read if you've got a lot on your mind and you just need something simple that you don't really need to think about too much. So the characters were great, the world is obviously it's normal world because it's contemporary, so it's great, the world building, writing, everything is great in the book. And I think I gave it 4 stars. The next one I want to talk to you about is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. That's a cool name, isn't it? I like it when them seem to like just flow into one another, Leigh Bardugo. Am I the only one that thinks that? Every time I hear that name pronounced, I'm just like, that's a cool name. Anyway, so Shadow and Bone is a fantasy book, and the fantasy is again one that I got on Kindle monthly deals. I love Kindle deals, they're so good. This is one of those books where it's going to be quite hard, it's like quite difficult to explain, but basically it's kind of like a fantasy sort of based on Russia in a futuristic way kind of thing. It's about a girl called, I think you pronounce it as Alina, and she grew up in an orphanage with her friend called Mal. It's about their current lives where they are in, she's training to be a cartographer, which is like making maps, and he is a tracker, and basically there are these, I think they're called Grisha, and they are witches kind of thing, and they have to go to something called the Fold, which is dark, and these weird creatures come and attack them, and Alina finds this power that she did not know existed, and she gets taken by the Darkling, who is the ruler of the Grisha, and to train her as a Grisha sort of thing. But there's more to it than that. There's the premise that she has the ability that he needs to get rid of this thing called the Fold, which is the dark thing. This is the one problem I had with it, was the Fold. I couldn't really imagine it. I don't really still even know what it looks like or what it was. That was the one problem I had with it. But other than that, it was a great story, and apart from some confusion in the beginning and some confusion with the Fold, like, and not being able to really picture that, I really liked the plot, I really liked the characters. It was a really good, solid fantasy book, and I think it's well worth reading, and I know a lot of people have been talking about them currently, but I don't get put off by that. It was good, even though a lot of people have been talking about it and saying it's good. I think I gave Shadow and Bone 3.5 or 4 stars, something like that. Hopefully that gives you a brief overview of some of the books I've been reading recently. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will see you next week. Goodbye!